Hey everyone, I'm Rod and Todd, professional YouTuber who makes professional videos, and we're going to get to the Transformers review here in a bit, but we're going to be moving on to the next phase of this whole project. That is Wave 1 of the Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy toy line. So, this is something kind of weird, is that they decided to redeco a bunch of existing figures from this line as part of the Walmart exclusive War for Cybertron trilogy toy line. And you may be wondering, what's the difference between War for Cybertron trilogy and War for Cybertron trilogy? Well, it's very simple. You see, War for Cybertron trilogy is based off of the Netflix original cartoon, and War for Cybertron trilogy is its own thing. I know. That clears it all up. So yeah, these are based off of the Netflix cartoon, which you may or may not have heard of. But for those of you who haven't seen it, it's not the best. I'm not gonna spoil anything that happens here, but who knows? There probably gonna be spoilers later on in this video and the next video. So there are 3 waves to the Netflix toy line, which all kind of released about half a year apart. So Wave 1 was based off of Season 1 of the cartoon, which was based off of Siege, and then Wave 2 is based off the second season of the cartoon, which is based off of Earthrise, and then Wave 3, the last wave, is based off of the third season of the toy line, or the show, which is based off of Kingdom, the toy line Kingdom, not the show Kingdom. There's a difference. There's a very big difference. The toy line is great. Show, actually no, I haven't seen the Kingdom show. That isn't out yet. A couple days till it comes out here in the States. I don't know if it's a different release. You guys like my turtle back there? You can see him swimming. Anyway, so the cartoon's not all that great. At least the first 2 seasons are. I haven't seen the 3rd season yet because it's not out. So for all I know, it could be a masterpiece. But overall, the show is not very good. It's not great, but it's not terrible or anything. It's just average. But anyway, I'm not really here to talk about the show. I am here to talk about the toys. So we're going to be starting off Wave 1 of the toy line. So the way we're going to do this is we reviewed all of the Siege figures I own, and then we're going to do Wave 1 of Netflix, and then we're going to review all the Earthrise guys, and we're going to do Wave 2 of Netflix, we're going to do all the Kingdom guys, and then we're going to do Wave 3 of Netflix, and then we're going to do Studio Series 86 at the end. Just, wrap it all up. So, yeah. So we're going to be reviewing 2 figures in Wave 1 because I only have 2 figures. So I hope you enjoy the first figure, which is Decepticon Hot Link. So let's just get to that. So this is Hot Link, and this is Heatstroke and Heartburn. They were released together in the Voyager 3-pack size class. That's a thing now, as part of the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy toy line. So let's start with the alternate modes, and we're just gonna start with the Battle Masters. Every Voyager class figure in this line is released as part of a 3-pack. That is 1 Voyager figure and 2 Battle Master and or Micro Master figures, or at least in Wave 1 it's in Wave 1 it's 1 Voyager figure and 1 Battle Master. In Wave 2, it's the same, except there's also a figure that's a Voyager and 2 Micro Masters. In Wave 3, there's another Voyager and 2 Battle Masters, and then there's a Voyager and a Core Class figure, which is basically the same. It's just 2 Battle Masters. But anyway, yeah, we'll start with the 2 Battle Masters. Heatstroke and Heartburn. As you can see, they are identical, pretty much. There is a slight difference in robot mode. In terms of alternate mode, they are identical. Let me just remove my blast pieces here. They are redecos of Blowpipe / Caliburst, so let's just get them all out here to compare. I have Blowpipe in blue, and then Heatstroke and Heartburn in this kind of like turquoise color, and caliburst in black and purple here. So, yeah, it's pretty much the same molding wise. It didn't change anything between them. So you can see there's still the one bigger barrel and the one kind of shorter barrel. Of course, these can be held by any figure with the compatible fist size, but since they're packed in with a figure, I'm not going to show that off until we get to the robot mode of the larger figure. Of course, as I already showed you, they have the effect parts, which are the same as Blowpipe's little effect piece, except without the little ring, which, if you didn't know, for me using it throughout all the videos so far, I really like Blowpipe's little blast effect part, because it has this little ring. I think it kind of looks like muzzle flare or something. I just think it looks coolest when you put it on a gun, or a toy gun, I should say. But since they ditched the ring here, it kind of sucks. Apparently, it's because they're supposed to be flamethrowers, which, yeah, that kind of makes sense. These are kind of in more like a shade of orange, whereas this is more yellow. You can see there's a definite difference in color between the two. But yeah, these guns are really nothing too special to speak of. Well, I'll show off the functionality of the guns in terms of them being used by another figure once we get to Hot Link's robot mode. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about these guns, so let's just move on to Hot Link. So Hot Link is a redeco of the Siege generic Seeker mold. There are no new brand new parts on any figures, pretty much in Wave 1. Once we get to Wave 2, they started doing retoolings, and not just redecos, but then by Wave 3, they pretty much just gave up and kept with the redecos. For that matter, Wave 2 is objectively the best wave out of the 3, but we aren't talking about Wave 2, we're talking about Wave 1. So, this is a redeco of the Siege generic Seeker mold, which has been reused so many times it hurts. So let's do a count now, shall we? So we have Starscream, we have Thundercracker, we have Skywarp, Amazon exclusive for some reason. We have Redwing, Target exclusive. We have Acid Storm. We have Nova Storm and Ion Storm, Target exclusive 3-pack. We have Hot Link, who we're talking about here. We have Shattered Glass Starscream, it's an online exclusive. We have the Sparkless Seeker, which is in Wave 3 of the Netflix line. So far we're at 10, and just recently announced Premium Finish Starscream, the Takara Tomy exclusive figure. That makes for 11 uses of this freaking Tetrajet mold. And this is the only Siege Seeker I own, so, you know, it's kind of a, I don't know. I have the big 3, that is Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. I have their Earthrise toys, so this is the only Siege Seeker I own, so it's kind of a breath of fresh air. But, yeah, this mold has been overused to death, so Hasbro, please stop using this. So anyway, in terms of alternate mode, he turns into a Cybertronian jet, which is based off of the generic Seeker Cybertronian jet from the original Transformers cartoon. Of course, there are a few differences between this and the cartoon. The toy is a lot more blocky in design, whereas the cartoon is a lot more triangular, a lot less, you know, square. I don't really know which one I prefer. I kind of dig the look of this. Kind of looks like something out of Star Wars or whatever. I don't know. I'm not really a big Star Wars fan. But yeah, it kind of looks like something out of Star Wars or like, I don't know, Battlestar Galactica. I'm not a Battlestar Galactica fan either. So, those of you fans of that, does this look like something out of Battlestar Galactica? But, yeah. But the cartoon is, I don't know. Actually, yeah, I think I prefer the toy. I just dig the blocky, angular look of this. It looks cool. Of course, again, I can understand if you have all the Siege Seekers, how this would be overdone, but this is the only one of this mold I have, so it's cool. We're going to have from the front as this tiny little cockpit, big nose cone, these really cool looking wings, kind of stand it upright. You can attach his guns, comes with 2 guns. You can attach them underneath the jet. Of course, it's a redeco of the Siege figure, so there's holes everywhere. So you can put his guns just under it, like that. It looks alright. I don't know. I think you're supposed to put them under the wings, actually. But I just kind of prefer to do it like this. There you go. If you want to do that. For once, it's a vehicle mode weapon storage that I actually kind of like. Kind of makes sense. But yeah, there is one glaring issue I have with this. It's that, yeah. So, let's talk about fake Kibble for a bit. Now, normally, I don't really mind fake Kibble. It's basically like robot mode or vehicle mode bits that it's like it's a piece on the robot mode that makes it look like a part of the vehicle mode turned into that part, but it actually didn't. It's just a fake little piece there. Normally I'm fine with it. Honestly, like I don't really care. I'm not really the kind of guy who picks apart a transformer because of their transformation. Or really how they transform. I get negative if a transformer's transformation is overly complex, but like if it has like fake Kibble or if it's like Earthrise RC or it's a shell former, I don't really mind it just so long as the transformation is easy for me to do, because I don't like spending 10 minutes trying to transform a Transformers figure. And if it has like fake Kibble, I don't really mind it just so long as it's out of the way in whatever mode it's not supposed to be in. This is the case where it's kind of bad. So this figure, the robot mode, is based directly off of the Starscream cartoon model, which has, of course, the Earth mode jet cockpit forming the chest. However, as you can see, it's a radically different cockpit design compared to here and here. And since they wanted to make it look like the cartoon model in robot mode, they had the fake jet mode cockpit. And I wouldn't really mind this if they didn't just slap it on the back. Like, if they would found a way to, like, tuck it underneath or something, like, or it ends up on the bottom out of sight, I wouldn't mind it. But this is just kind of weird. And what makes it even weirder is they had to make these little thrusters even smaller in order to accommodate the big piece on the back. And I guess I gotta mention this now. Yeah, you can put the effect parts in the back thrusters. And since I have 3 of this part now, we can do all 3. There you go. So, yeah. It's an alright jet mode. I like it aesthetically wise, but the back is just not good. A lot of people complain about this big block underneath, but personally, I don't really care. So, yeah, that's Hot Link's vehicle mode. So let's just move on to the packaging. So here's the box. You saw this earlier in the little intro I did, where I compared War for Cybertron Trilogy and War for Cybertron Trilogy. I just have a standard Siege box. This is Megatron, because they're both Voyagers, and I wanted to compare 2 Voyager boxes. As you can see, the Siege box is a lot more black, whereas this is a lot more white. And of course, compared to the standard Siege Voyager box, it's a little bit whiter because it has to accommodate 3 figures instead of just the 1. But if you were to look at it, just kind of compare the aesthetics, it has wildly different graphics, however, construction-wise, they are pretty much the same. And that's what I like about the War for Cybertron trilogy. The boxes stay pretty much consistent in construction throughout all 3 toy lines, even if the graphics on them change radically in between toy lines. It has straight side here, the little angular side, big front window. So yeah, as you can see, it's bright white. It says Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy right there. Transformers logo. Netflix original series, which, as I stated earlier, isn't very good. Decepticon Hot Link says right there. Moving over to this side, it has the standard Siege mural, but it's in like grayscale, but like also in red. It says a Netflix original series right there, and replaces the Siege logo with the War for Cybertron Trilogy logo. This is why I'm doing Wave 1 in between Siege, Wave 2 in between Earthrise and Kingdom, and Wave 3 after I do Kingdom, because for Wave 1 it has the Siege mural, Wave 2 has the Earthrise mural, and in Wave 3 it has the Kingdom mural on this side. So, you know, there's a fun bit of trivia for you there. So yeah, it is the same in terms of what's on there, just the colors are different. This kind of reminds me of those ads for Avengers Endgame, if you remember, to where like there was footage from Infinity War that was in gray, but their parts are picked out in red. Kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but whatever. Moving it along to the back, we have just a 3D render of the figure, same as the Siege box. And it's here where you can see the only reason I bought this. Camera's tilted. Give me a second. Let me fix the stinking camera. Sorry everyone, my camera stand, it comes undone really easily for no reason, so I had to fix that. But anyway, as you can see, this is the only reason I really bought this. I was considering buying Hot Link for a while because there was this YouTuber who was doing a stop motion series, and he was doing auditions, and I actually tried out for the role of Hot Link. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great, dude. I'll get you in there." And it's been like, I don't know, almost a year now, and he still hasn't gotten back to me on the script or anything. So at this point, I doubt I'm going to be in it, but who knows? If I get a role in it, I'll let you know, but check out HLH Studios Transformers The Hunted sometime. That's what I auditioned for. So when I auditioned for the role of Hot Link, I considered getting this guy just, because I really didn't want to, because it was $40, and Earthrise was kind of starting to come out around that time, and well, not really. Earthrise had started to come out. Earthrise had been out for a while. Just Earthrise Wave 2 was finally starting to hit the shelves a little bit around here with I don't know, the Voyagers and crap. But uh, but then I found this guy. I think in like December, early January, with this big hole in the box. It's at Walmart, and I had a bunch of gift cards for Christmas. And I asked for Walmart gift cards because Wave 2 of the Netflix line was starting to trickle out, and there were legitimately some figures I wanted for it, or from that wave. And so I found this with a big hole in the box, and it was on sale for $10 off. So, I'm like, well, yeah, I'd be stupid to pass up on that. So there you go. I got this guy for $10 off. Nothing was missing. It was just a big hole in the box for no reason. But anyway, yeah. 3D render of Hot Link. As you can see, it transforms from this to this in 22 steps, and then Heatstroke and Heartburn transforms in 5 steps each. And they continue the rank insignias from Siege, which is kind of cool. You got one for Hot Link, and then these two, which are the looks of things the same for Heatstroke and Heartburn. Moving on to the side, we have the package art, which from what I can tell is just a reused, recolored version of Thundercracker's art from Siege. It just slightly recolored to have a bit of purple in there, and it's zoomed in. It says, once again, a Netflix original series, in case you forgot what this is supposed to be based off of, and the Decepticon symbol right there. Oddly enough, it has the Autobot symbol on the top, and it's the Transformers there, and then this on the bottom with the clearance sticker, which is unique to mine. Not everyone has a clearance sticker, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the packaging, so that out of the way, let's move on to the robot mode. So here's Heatstroke and Heartburn in their robot mode. As with their gun modes, they are pretty much identical. However, it's here where we get to the slight difference between the two. As you can see, Heartburn has yellow eyes and Heatstroke has orange eyes. Yeah, that's a pretty big difference. In all honesty, I do kind of appreciate that these are identical. It's kind of like they're almost generic drones or something. I kind of dig that. But anyway, yes, they are just the same mold as Blowpipe and Caliburst. Same level of articulation. I'm only going to demonstrate on one because it is identical. They don't have head articulation, but let's see, ball joints at the shoulders, I can move it out and all the way around, and ball joints at the hips, I can move it forward, back, and out. That's pretty much it. Pretty basic figures, but I mean, come on, these things are tiny, so Of course, they do still have the same issue I have with Blowpipe and Caliburst, and that the gun mode handles just kind of stick out awkwardly. And Blowpipe and Caliburst had this weird issue to where the gun on the back, there's this little tab it looks like it's supposed to tab into, but it doesn't tab into. With these two, it actually does tab into it quite well. So I don't know what changed, but I like that. And of course, it has the same gimmick that Blowpipe and Caliburst had, where you can remove the gun barrel from their back and just put it on his arm. So you can have a little handheld weapon if you want, and you know, just put a little effect bar on there, and there you go. These are very basic figures. I'm not really here to talk about them. I'm here to talk about the big seeker in the room. So yeah, let's just get these guys out of the way and talk about Hot Link. And you can get him to stand. So here's Hot Link. Raise the camera a bit. Yeah, there you go. So Hot Link's kind of an obscure character, so let's just explain him. Hot Link is, he started out life as a generic seeker character from the first episode of the original cartoon. If you guys remember that chase scene where there is Bumblebee and Wheeljack being chased by seekers, and that scene where a seeker has a flamethrower and he surrounds Wheeljack and Bumblebee with a ring of fire. Yeah, that was Hot Link. He was given the name Hot Link. So yeah, there you go. So he's just kind of a generic seeker. Back when this figure was announced, the battle damage black mixed with the purple, and we all thought, oh, Hasbro's giving us another chance to get Skywarp because, you know, he was an Amazon exclusive and they felt bad for people who couldn't get him. But nope, you can pretend he's Skywarp, but you'll feel something empty inside if you do. So in terms of articulation, he has some pretty basic stuff for a Siege Voyager figure. Ball joint to the head, so you can move it up and down, and left and right. Universal joint at the shoulders, can move his arm out, and he actually can move it all the way around despite the wings, because for some reason they like fold back like this. I don't know why they do that. So you can move it out and all the way around. He has a double jointed elbow, so you can do this. Wrist swivel, waist swivel, sort of. Universal joint at the hips, so you can move his leg out, forward, and back a bit. Swivel at the thigh, bend at the knee, and sideways articulation at the ankle, even though it's kind of limited. So, you know, standard stuff for a Siege Voyager, but hey, at least this one actually has wrist swivels, unlike a lot of other figures. In terms of accessories, he comes with two. Of course, the aforementioned guns I showed off in his vehicle mode. These are based off of the null rays that every Seeker is known for. Of course, in the Siege figure, they would have names, but after Siege, they stopped doing weapon names, so I don't have to memorize those now. Oh, that was exhaustive. Remember that when I had to name all the guns individually? Good times. But yeah, so these are just kind of nameless guns. They have names in the Siege box, but like this isn't a Siege figure, so I don't care. You can pull what they do in the Netflix cartoon and make them handheld guns if you're a complete madman or you're the writers of Netflix. Or you could do what you're supposed to do, because these are the Seeker null rays, and put them in his little armholes, and there you go. And the standard Seeker arm-mounted weapons. Of course, I don't know if this is a problem with just mine, but mine are kind of loose in the joint, and they got little holes there, and they fell over. Yeah, mine are kind of a bit loose in the holes. Now, you know, they just do this pretty easily. I don't know if that's just a problem with mine, or if that's a universal problem, or if that's even just a thing with just this version of the mold. It might be better on Starscream or Thundercracker. I don't know. But yeah, that's something I should mention. Yeah, so he can also, of course, hold the Battle Masters he comes with in his robot mode. And this is how I display him on my shelf with holding the two Battle Masters, because, I mean, what else am I going to do with these? He comes with a pair of Battle Masters. Why would I not display him with the guys he comes with? So, yeah, there you go. This is pretty much how I display my Hot Link, just with the flamethrowers. Because my Transformer shelf, if you don't know, it's a big battle diorama. So I normally try to do something cool. So there you go. There's this flamethrower, guys. There's another cool feature on this guy I need to mention. And that feature is light piping. So Hot Link, There are a few Transformers in Siege that have light piping. I know Shockwave has it. I showed it off and I reviewed him. I know Soundwave has it, but I don't have Soundwave, so I can't really show that off. And there are a few other guys in later lines that have them, which I know the Netflix Soundwave from Wave 2 of this line has light piping. That's just because he has the same head as Siege Soundwave, and then it becomes really prominent for no reason in Studio Series 86. I know Cup has it, Blur has it. I don't know what other guys have it. I think Ultra Magnus has it in Kingdom. I think does Cyclonus have light piping? I don't remember. But it becomes kind of more prominent. This used to be something we do all the time. They don't do it as often now. But yeah, it's great to see him make a comeback. And basically, light piping is there's a transparent piece in the back of his head. You can see this red piece here. And that piece is hooked up to his eyes. So what you can do, I have this flashlight here, you can shine a light in that little spot on the back, and it makes his eyes glow red. It's definitely working a lot better than it was with Shockwave earlier. So you remember in the Siege Shockwave review, it took me forever to figure out how to make that work. But there you go. You see, I take the light away, put the light on, see his eyes light up red. It's a really cool feature. And since you're not going to shine a flashlight to his head very often, but if you keep it in a well-lit area, it'll just glow all the time because there's no batteries or anything. It just requires a light shining through it in order to operate. So that's a really cool feature. Yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say about this guy. He's cool, since I only have this one Siege Seeker, I have to say I quite like it. Of course, if you have like all 80 bajillion uses of this mold, I could imagine it getting stale very quickly. But this is kind of something new compared to me having a lot of the Earthrise Seekers. So, it's cool. I'd say you don't really need to pick this figure up if you don't really care. If you want to build a massive Seeker army, then I'd say you should probably pick him up. But if you don't really care about this guy at all, which most of you probably don't, you can definitely just skip on this one, honestly. It's just a generic Seeker, But yeah, I do quite like this figure. I kind of dig the purple and black. I dig the little flamethrower twins. So, it's cool, but you don't need to get this figure. You can definitely skip. So that was my review of Netflix Hot Link. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, all that, please. You don't have to, but, we're getting kind of close to 200 subs, so, that would be nice. But, yeah, so tune in next week as we finish off Wave 1 of the Netflix line with the big spoiler pack. You probably know who's in it, but I'm not going to spoil it because it's the spoiler pack. So tune in next week as we review that. This has been Ron Todd signing off.